when we talk about AI, people say that there are a lot of factual errors in the AI content, and there is lack of human touch also. Their accuracy is not very high. The accuracy level of the content or the facts are not so high with the AI I'm talking about. So how students are, prepared or trained to investigate and navigate those misinformations or errors?
See, earlier, for example, if you take the case of just a few years ago, text had a credibility. आप अखबार में अगर छपा है तो you believe that this is there. Today, newspapers, most of them have lost credibility. That is the same situation in case of video. Video is also sort of copied. Its fake videos are just so real. So video also. Earlier, 10 years ago, if somebody would have sent you a video, you had no reason to doubt it. Today, even if there is a video, you have reason to doubt it.
Lack of credibility.
Lack of credibility. So there is a general need to doubt. So I think one thing that we definitely say is that you need to ask questions, that whether it is true, whether this could be true. So applying your sense on information. So it is a challenge and opportunity once again. One challenge is major factor that you can't believe anything. That sounds like a dystopian thing. If you can't believe anything, that doesn't really sound like a very wonderful thing to do when you are especially at 16, 17 years of age. But at the same time, having that doubt, having the ability to raise questions, which is what we are supposed to impart as faculty, as teachers, is a useful tool, especially if you are going to become a media professional, as influencers, as somebody who the society looks up to for views. That is the challenge. And it has got no substitute, not yet.
So students are being prepared accordingly, like for the AI revolution.
As I said, there is always a catch and mouse game. There's no perfect thing. I can't say, and for that matter, nobody can say that there is 100% that we are able to do. There is 100%, because technology again changes. If you're mid-semester, something comes, some new tools comes, new challenges come. The day before, some news came in about privacy, about some
data
video going viral,
and
all
security.
sorts of things. What do you do? You can bring it as case study discussions, but syllabus revision will possibly happen later. And even with syllabus revision, there will be things we can't teach everything. So the responsibility on students to upscale and constantly be on the watch of the kind of information which is coming up, upgrading themselves. I think you are 2.5 years into industry. You also realize that industry works in a very different way, and for students to get there has to be a journey. It's not like you can't jump always from the top. There has to be a stairs.
It's a learning process, all along.
So the learning to how to learn is what you need to...
And keep unlearning also. Sometimes
Precisely.
we have to unlearn the things we have learned because of the technology evolving. We have to follow the trends.
Precisely, yeah.
So sir, as you spoke about social media versus traditional media. So what is winning the trust game of people?
Ab to kuch bacha nahi. I would say that traditional media, if you say in today's time, television, and so it's platform specific. It's on what you do is getting you credibility. The platform itself, the medium itself is not credible enough. Print, for that matter, print was earlier, if there is something written, then it was very credible. But today we see quite a bit of news, even in newspapers, which are either paid content or which are sort of politically inclined content. That's not really journalism, I would say much. Although I don't say that you have to keep a distance from politicians. We do cover them. We should be covering them. The politicians are important people, but news has a responsibility, and that neutrality is very, very key. It can work in the short run, but it cannot work in the long run. So print is so medium is not credible. It is platform. So for example, if you see, let's say, the BBC or the Indian Express, many of such platforms have maintained their credibility, and it is because how they work rather than the medium.
The neutrality of the content and the...
You can be very, very credible doing a social media thing, Today, so many people on social media have more followers than many of these TV journalists, So credibility is not about medium. Credibility is about the work that you do.
The content you work for. So sir, grooming the next generation of storytellers, what qualities make a great media student today? I
would say the very basic skills still matter, A bit of humility, a bit of openness, a bit of willingness to question, not too much overconfidence, need to raise doubt, critical thinking, and understanding a few things. Understanding Constitution will be so critical. Understanding what is privacy, understanding people's space, understanding the need to do stories. Today, we have all the information under the sun. Every day there is so many information, so much of information is being created that you can't possibly create in a whole lifetime. But that is where there is a huge crisis of credibility. There is a lack of credible information. Some of the best platforms, some of the very reputed platforms at times get caught into something, which is absolutely wrong. So I think we suggest students that your job is not to do stories for some big platform. I mean, that's okay, fair enough if it happens. But whatever platform you do stories on, make sure that you become credible. And within 2 to 3 years, by the time, let's say if you're in undergrad degree or if you're in grad degree in 2 years or so, people recognize you for your work. Whatever you do, it should bear your mark. It should bear credibility. It should be well researched, well backed. So simple things, make sure that there is enough research. You are approaching stories from different perspectives. You are trying to understand it, trying to cover different sides, critical thinking, humility, humanity, and that does a great story.
So basically, what you are trying to convey is like the credibility is more important than the platform itself.
No doubt about that.
Okay, sir. So, sir, internships and industry exposure. How crucial are real-world experience in the world of teaching?
ये तो आप बताएंगे. But yes, internships are important.
I have been a student. I'm still a student because I am learning.
We are all a student. So we should always be a student. The day you stop being a student, you stop learning. We learn from our students, for that matter, all the time, and not just the students who are, who are pass out or who are working in the industry, but at times also from students who come because they tell you what is going on currently. Because every next batch comes with new sets of data. For example, I think COVID came and we got an entirely new set of batches who possibly had a very difficult 2 years in terms of schooling, in terms of missing their very critical 2 years.
Even I was in college at that time.
Yes, you were in college.
So we used to have lectures online and having tests online.
So the learning got affected,
It got affected.
Yeah.
A lot of challenges were there we faced while learning also, and you might have, you have that same experience while teaching also.
Right.
So COVID was itself a very big challenge.
And COVID is just one. Today, now there is AI. Tomorrow there could be something else, It's constantly changing and changing at a pace which we don't imagine. Yesterday, 3 years ago, what we taught in business journalism, what is Trump doing today? All the things that we possibly discussed in economy just 5 years ago, nobody thought something like this could be done by America in terms of imposing tariffs all over the world.
It was just, that was something to the text related. Now it is happening in the real world also.
Yes, exactly. It's happening.
So, sir, what should young students focus in the next 5 years according to you, who are aspiring to be media professionals specifically?
Okay, I would say that media is going to stay. Storytelling will stay. And you have to learn to tell great stories. You get to tell great stories once you feel it, once you realize it, once you experience people's pain and pleasure, and the monotony has to come down. It is not a routine thing. It's not a machine-like job that you do. I mean, if that has to be done, if there is some element of that, of course there is AI, which will do it much better. So bringing that human element is very, very important. Having said that, I think one major trend that we are going to see with that is that with technologies as vibe coding, where the gap between what a social science grad could do with technology compared to what a tech grad could do with technology, that is dramatically coming down. Today, I can do coding despite having almost no background in technology. Almost everybody can do it. So, and this gap is further coming down. Tomorrow, with something like you can just have a conversation with a tool and it will give you product. Thereafter, you can put it on trial, and if there are issues, you can work with it. The way we are having conversation. Suppose you are an engineer.
Yes, sir.
So this gap is coming down, which means is that people's ability to ask questions, ask meaningful questions, do critical analysis, understanding society, experiencing it with all sincerity is going to be far more important than at any point before. And that is the challenge that is not 5 years from now. It's right here.
Right here only.
Yeah, it's right here, right now.
So, sir, having AI in the scenario, what is the impact of AI automation on journalism?
AI automation in journalism is very... organizations see it as different priorities. Some organizations see it as cost cutting. Others are using it as a tool to do better journalism. So it depends upon organization's motivation and individual motivation, that how they want to use AI. AI definitely is enabling us to tell better stories because it is cutting up on so much of effort in terms of mundane stuff that we used to do. But having said that, what is also the problem that is there is that we are becoming too algorithmic and we are missing the human need, because let's say sometimes you would have faced a situation where you make a phone call on the customer care and there is no human being, there is a machine answering from the other side because it's a bot like that. And it answers in some way, possibly they have trained it in a certain way to answer most of your question, but you do feel frustrated because it is not answering some of the very critical questions. Of course,
because of the lack of human touch or
because of lack
understanding of the situation.
Yes. Or at times also because it has been modeled in a way which doesn't answer so many important critical things. To understand that gap, we don't need to trust too much of AI. We need to make sure that this human being will remain important. This is the most sophisticated AI, and this AI is what we need to put in more trust than. AI should be used as a substitute.
AI is basically artificial intelligence.
अगर बहुत ज़्यादा भरोसा करेंगे तो फिर बहुत ज़्यादा दिक्कतें भी होंगी.
Yes, sir.
Yes, no doubt about that.
Yes, sir. So, sir, since you have been teaching for so many years and you have worked in journalism also, so one guru mantra which you want to give to our students or the viewers through our show?
गुरु मंत्र देने के लिए तो बहुत कुछ होता है, but I would say that you should have clarity. You should know which direction you want to get into. Confidence is not a problem in today's generation. आप लोग के जनरेशन में आपके उम्र में जितना हमें कॉन्फिडेंस था उससे बहुत ज़्यादा एवरेज कॉन्फिडेंस है. You know how to dress well. You know how to present yourself. Your generation, or for that matter, younger generation, are much better in terms of softer skills, Gen Z, tech. Those things are not an issue. But the clarity is a major issue because there is so much to focus upon. And you can't focus on so many things. You need to align your energy. So one of the first things that I think we are putting up a volume on how to pursue internships. The first chapter on aligning your energies. Which direction you want to get into? Do you want to get into journalism? If in journalism, what exactly? Is it health journalism? Is it political journalism? Is it climate journalism? What is it? All of these, whatever you do, they will all require so many skills. You will get to do so many things. And if you are able to do that, you will get there. रामायण में एक कहावत है कि you basically have to make sure एक ही साध है, सब सद है, सब साध है, सब जाए, which is like if you try to do so many things, you'll be lost. You should try to do one thing. Everything else will follow. Money will follow. Fame will follow. Everything else will follow. But you have to make sure that you align your energies in one direction. And that's how it works.
I'm sure you inspire a lot of inspiring students and media professionals. Quick tips to achieve a strong career graph like yours.
Well, I don't think my career graph is a perfect. I quit MBA, went to journalism and did so many this way,
but
that way.
You have a lot of
thing.
experience overall.
Yes,
and that counts.
That does count. One of the first things that people should do is that don't try to grow too quickly. It is said that जो पेड़ बहुत बड़ा होता है ना उसकी जड़ें बहुत गहरी होती हैं. You see? So if you try to grow too quickly, then you will not work on the basics. You need to get the very basic skills very, very solid. Reading, super critical. Writing, super critical. Thinking and pondering, very, very important. Basic skills. You need to learn to know how to talk. You need to be good at listening to people. You need to be good at telling their stories. Listening, speaking, reading, writing. If you just do that much, that's it. Rest is all tools. Whatever stories you tell, if you are able to tell a great story with all the passion and all the energy, the world will pay attention to you. But it should be a compelling story. It should be coming from your heart. It should be something for which you are willing to put all the effort it takes. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your valuable time with us and your incredible thoughts and experience to our viewers. So that was Dr. Jha for us. See you guys in the next episode. Stay tuned. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.